One of the big things we found when we moved up into the 3,000 range, which we moved past that some time ago, but it was a struggle with hiring people. And so we found ourselves working until 1 o'clock a.m. a lot of times. We were taking day and night calls from customers. They were constantly texting, calling. There wasn't hardly any family time, basically. We found that we were 2+ weeks behind on installs, going as fast as we could go to install customers. And we started sitting down and thinking, it's time to start hiring some more guys. We trickled them on. We were very picky who we chose. We wanted good quality installs and guys that would then train other guys with the proper method, the proper procedure to do things. And another one is you need after-hours tech support. You can't be the after-hours tech support. When you get up in the 3,000 customers, we regularly have 3 or 4 people call every night. And that doesn't seem like that many, but 3 to 4 at 15 to 20, 30 minutes apiece, they don't want you to hang up. Even if it's 9:30 at night, they don't want you to hang up. They want you to solve their problem no matter what. We started sending them off to an after-hours support center that does some basic stuff, reboot router, a few things like that, and they create a ticket, tell the customer we will contact them back the next morning with the ticket. So ticket systems are very important for that reason. So doing these things, hiring on the few employees that we needed to keep up with installs, to keep us from having to feel like we were working 24/7 was a big thing. And as you get up in that 3,000 range, you'll really greatly appreciate it. I'll never forget the first night we had tech support online, and it wasn't me. It was like a huge weight was lifted off my shoulders. It was a great night. One of the big things you need to do is you need to grow with a system. Pick a system now, and we're talking a billing, ticketing system that does scheduling and a lot of things. There's 2 or 3 really good products out there, and I won't talk about any one specific product. We have one we really like, but your billing system, in order to really utilize it for future growth, it needs to have auto cutoff. If a customer doesn't pay, you need to have auto cutoff. Going through and trying to cut everybody off that hasn't paid and then turning them back on minutes later or hours later, that consumes a lot of time. And so the billing system automatically does that for us. It's been a great thing to have. Auto monthly bills and payments. I've talked to some WISPs that are around 1,000 to 1,500, and they're using QuickBooks. Nothing wrong with QuickBooks at all, but it's not really designed for this kind of process. On the 7 days before the 1st, when we send out our billing to everybody, it's an automated process. Letters are printed if they want to get a mail, actually in an envelope and a piece of paper at their house, or an email. It's all automatic. It's great. It reduced us having to have a couple of employees just to take care of billing every month. The other thing is it vets out new customers quickly. When you get a call from a customer, very excited. I'm ready to get this new customer onboarded. Let's get them scheduled. But first, let's have a good utility, a good program that can vet that customer. And what I mean is, do they have good line of sight to a tower? Is there a hill in the way? Are they way down low into a canyon and there's no way they can see the tower? Is there a tower close to them? Sometimes we get phone calls from people, they're 8 or 10 or 20 miles from a tower. And we know there's not any point in going out there and wasting time because we know. It saves a lot of time, and it also tells your customer or potential customer, hey, I'm not going to hold you on the phone or go out there and waste your time. We can figure this out very quickly on the phone. The ticket system was already talked about. I want to explore more on the ticket system. Obviously, we do use it for customers when they call in, when they send an email in. The ticket system, sometimes they're private tickets, they're internal tickets only for what's happening internally. And sometimes the tickets are customer viewable. They can see what the results are. They can answer back on those tickets. And so we're very careful to make sure we see if it's a visible ticket to the customer or if it's an internal ticket. And because we may be talking about upgrading a tower and things like that, that needs to be an internal discussion. But ticket system is very important. Find a good billing system that has that built in. And then, of course, finding areas you are not servicing. One of my favorite things to do is bring up a map, pull all the leads up, take a look. Wow, there's a whole area with 150 leads that we're not servicing. We need to figure out how to get over there and get a tower built right away. And so it's a great utility to go out there and find new locations. And as you get into the 2,000 and 3,000 range, you'll be looking for new areas to expand even faster because you'll have that cash flow coming in and you're ready to expand. One of the big things I enjoy doing is the marketing and sales part. And how do you get to 3,000? Well, a lot of it has to do with marketing and sales. You really want to make sure you've got a good team that does this. So how do you grow to that next level? How do you get to that 3,000 mark? Set area goals. Find those areas that are underserved. Set a goal to get in that area. Where am I going to put the tower? How much money am I willing to put into this? Set a monthly budget. So many times I've gotten, I'll do some posting on Facebook, and I'll have an $800 or $900 bill from Facebook at the end of the month. I didn't set a very good budget on that, did I? And so I look at the budget, that's EDDM, that's all the different ways we can do marketing. And that's how do you market to those areas? Well, flyers, which is EDDM, that's every door direct mail. It's the cheapest way to do it. It does take time because you have to sort it, you have to count it, you have to deliver it where it needs to go. And because you save money, the post office makes you do more work. But I'll tell you what, EDDM flyers always bring out people. I'm sure a lot of people throw them away, but we see a very good uptick in the number of installs in an area when we send out. Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, all very good places. Facebook is my #1 favorite to go and hit an area up. I do I boost a post, or I'll do an ad, and we will have 3 to 4 installs scheduled within hours, and they continue to come in as long as that posting is boosted and people are seeing it. And I normally do a post boost for around $150. That's a pretty good number for 15 days. That's well within budget, and it really brings a lot of people out to call and find out more about your service. Kind of talked about network redundancy a little bit. I wanted to talk a little bit more about a few other items. Multiple feed points per tower. I believe Jason talked about that. But multiple drains, we call them multiple drains to the internet. And what is that? It's a connection to the internet. It's going out to the internet. You want to make sure you don't just have one. That's a single point of failure. If you're connected to one internet provider that gets you out, and that one goes down, or their fiber dies or something, your entire network could be down. That's always good to have. We actually have 3 of them now, and at any given time, a fiber is cut somewhere, and we seem to always have one down on occasion, and so thankful we have 3 of them at this point. Obviously, the bigger you get, the harder the impact when one of your connections goes down, especially if it's the only one you have. So make sure you're looking into how can I get a secondary connection, and how can I have it going on a different path, so that if fiber gets cut, it doesn't take both of them down. Hot and cold hardware backup, definitely you want to make sure you got plenty of hardware on the shelf, but it's good to have some sitting there ready to go as well that can be switched over to quickly. Check your peak times. One of the big things is watching your back calls. Your NMS system should be telling you this information. Make sure that as you add people onto a tower, that you're watching your back call. You're watching your peak times. And what is peak time? Starts around 7 o'clock and goes till, we used to say 9:30. Lately, it seems to be 10:30, 11 before it really starts coming down off peak. But keep an eye. When you get to 80% during your peak time, you need to start thinking about upgrading that backhaul. And then, of course, residential versus commercial. Commercial, they are very demanding. They want to make sure that you have plenty of redundancy to their location, to that tower. You don't want to leave them behind. Requires time and money to do it right. It requires a lot. And make sure that you are setting aside the money and the time to make sure your network is redundant, your towers are redundant, and everything's good.